Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Discovering Our Gifts. I'm Jeannie, and as you can see, I'm alone today. On today's episode, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to be giving you an update on me and my gifts and on the channel. So hopefully you'll stick around and enjoy the discussion. So we're back I'm back, right, from a long break that we've taken, much needed break. And in the case of my cousins, due to medical reasons and personal reasons, they won't be joining me for the time being, since they're fine. But they're just, going through some things and have to work through some things right now, which prohibits them from being able to join me. Uh, in my case, it's been, I still struggling with meditation. That I think that's the first thing we can start off with. And it's more along the lines of taking the time to do it. And when I actually do it, so many things just bombard my head, so many thoughts enter my mind that I it's hard for me to focus. And even with prayer and asking spirit, help me out with this. I have a really busy mind. Um, but with that said, I can say that I have been noticing my visions have expanded more. Well, let me make a quick mention. For those of you who have not seen any of our episodes, I am gifted with all of the Clairs, all of them. And it's been an emotional roller coaster, let's say, to having to deal with all this on the daily. And it was easy when I was weekly talking to my cousins about all these gifts. Uh, but right now, with the break that we've taken, we still, we still do communicate with each other, um, a lot, but we don't talk about, how do I say it? Like, we don't go into depth conversations about our gifts. Like, if we have something really impressionable to talk about, then yeah, like, hey Lenny, oh my God, this happened to me or whatever. But there's so much going on that um we had to kind of like take a break from the spiritual, except that once you open these doors up to your gifts, once you accept these gifts, once you understand that um they're there whether you accept it or not, uh you're gonna still all your gifts, they're still gonna present themselves to you. And it's not, I didn't push these gifts away. And I came to the realization that I felt like I was um pushing, like I was not accepting these gifts. That's what it kind of felt like. And when I took the break, um I had this thing in the back of, like, this feeling that there was something that I needed to do, there was something that I wasn't doing. And I was like, okay, I gotta get back to the podcast. Because I did you with when you're doing this stuff, when you're actively working with your gifts, and in my case, I'm still on the beginning stages. So I can't even imagine mediums and teachers and people that are on that level, uh the amount of breaks that they must need, like resets, because I needed a reset and I was just doing these videos, you know, getting information so that we can share it with you guys, but also share our experiences with the information that we have, that we were able to gather. So I can't even imagine, let alone dealing right with your everyday regular life. So I can't even imagine those people, those teachers, the mediums, the ones that do this every single day, that are dedicated to this. pastors, preachers, um, people that are dedicated to spiritual life every single day, it's a lot. It is a lot. And in this case, with the clairs, and when I say I have every single clair, I am clairvoyant, I have clairaudience, clairsentience, clairalience, clairgustance, and claircognizance. So all the clairs. Um, and you need to meditate. You need to take not a like kind of like a reset. So I was down with doing the cleansings every single day on my way to work, doing, the small meditation, um, just to like shield myself because I work in customer service. So kind of like shield myself from the negative, the toxic energy, negative energy, bad energy, and negative and bad intentions. Like I actively shield myself from from that stuff because I am very sensitive. I'm an empath. Under clairsentience, I'm an empath. I can sense, I can feel, I can touch, like I feel touch from spirit, but I can also sense people's emotions as an empath and all that stuff. So I gotta like shield myself from it. And it's one of the things that's suggested that you should do as you are accepting of your spiritual gifts, right? You need to learn to shield yourself to protect yourself. So in my case, right, that's the extent of my meditations. And I know that to like fully connect with my gifts, I need to actually take time out to sit down and to meditate. Uh, that's the part that I have a hard time doing. And like I said, when I take time out to do meditation, I'll have interruptions either mentally or um in the world. My family or my husband will call, or which by the way, let me put this real quick on silent. My husband will call, or my husband or my son will call. Uh, so it's like you need to schedule. I need to schedule in a time to sit down and meditate and do this because yes, I have made this the decision to accept this. I'm not out there when I say accept it, I'm not out there publicly in that. Well, okay. So nobody knows that I'm doing these videos, and since we don't have a right now, we don't have a lot of viewers, so that's not on my scope of things. So I'm not out there announcing to the people that I work with, people that I interact with, um, on the daily or just when I'm out and about. I don't announce to them that I'm gifted this way. Um, so I pick up on things and I see things, and my, I have my people, I have my circle of people that I can talk to about these things, thankfully. I know not everyone does, but I'm not out there actually announcing that I'm doing this, um that I'm gifted, let's say. And since I'm still learning, I'm not gonna it'll probably be a while unless, I don't know, one of these videos or something were to go viral. But so far, nothing like that has happened. So hopefully, our goal is to reach the people that are meant to see these videos and that need to learn something from our experiences. That has been our goal from the beginning. And um, so yeah, back I get sorry, I get sidetracked a lot. So the meditation is something that I still need to work on. I'm very aware that I need to do it. With that said, without the meditations, um, I am still experiencing the gifts, just maybe not at the level that I could be experiencing or dealing with my gifts, right? Uh, my strongest gift right now is, I think it's still clairvoyance. I've always been a big dreamer. I have a lot of dreams. I have a lot of premonition dreams, epic dreams, um, all those kind of dreams. We have a video on dreams if you want to check it out. It's one of our first videos, so it's not the best video, but yeah, where we give a little bit more insight on dreams. You can check it out on our channel. Um, my dreams changed a while, I'd say a few months back. They changed and they've changed again. So I want to say they're probably evolving. And I'm guessing if I were to actually sit down and schedule meditation time for myself, I would probably be further along in this process than I am. But so my dreams, and it's so funny, is really weird and tricky with my dreams because I'm gonna give you an example. I I'd say last month or something, I dreamt that I was really sick, that I was in a hospital bed, and I saw one of my aunts on the bed and she's passed. Um, so it could fall under a visitation dream, but it was, you can mix these up, visitation dreams and premonition dreams and visions, and I don't know. So I don't always know what type of dream my dream is until something happens further along and lets me know what type of dream it was, warning dream, or whatever. So I was sick in the hospital in my dream, and like really sick. Like I had nose cannula. No, I think I had the whole face mask in the dream, and like I wasn't, like I couldn't talk. I was like really, really sick, and I was almost dying in the dream. Like it was something, I don't know if you've had those dreams where there's stuff that you know is going on in the dream without anyone telling you. So in this dream, I knew that I was like dying, like I was like really, really ill. And I just know that my aunt was like at the foot of the bed in the hospital. She wasn't really saying anything, but she was present there. And um right now I can't recall who was it that was like that I was trying to talk to in the dream. I think I can't remember if it was my dad or my brother or someone. But so yeah, I was coughing and coughing and coughing, like I couldn't catch my breath, and I had a really raspy coughing voice, like I couldn't get words out, and I knew that it wasn't good in a dream. So I started worrying about the shit. I was like, oh my God, am I gonna get sick? And that following week, I ended up getting sick. So I was like, okay, this dream was about me, right? That I was gonna catch this cold because I caught a cold out of the blue, one of those flus, um, that's going around and that takes like a month to get through. You get you for you to get through it, and then you don't even. It's like doesn't test positive for anything. So, not COVID, not anything. So I was sick for about 2 weeks. I had a cough, I had congestion, stuffy nose, the whole nine. No, I think I had a fever maybe one day, whatever. So I thought my dream had to do with me getting sick. But then I think it was about a week or two later, my cousin, I ended up getting a phone call that one of my cousins was really sick, and he, I think he ended up having a heart attack. Ended up in the hospital. He wasn't breathing. They had him on, I forget the name of it keeps, I wanted to say it earlier, um, where the machine breathes for you. Hopefully it'll come back to me. But so they had him on ventilators. They had him on ventilators, and it was breathing for him. He wasn't breathing. Um, and thankfully he recovered. Uh, but that's what I dreamt about. That's why I saw my aunt at the foot of the bed because she's his mother. And that's when I realized I was like, okay, so this was kind of like a visitation premonition dream. Because he was the one that was sick in the hospital, couldn't breathe and all that. So fast forward to somewhere late March. Um, it's April now, but fast forward to late March, I had a dream where I saw myself in this weird um wheelchair. And so I started, in the dream, it was a it wasn't even a real wheelchair. It was just like a thing with wheels and then a chair sitting on top of it. So but it was a wheelchair and it was like my interpretation of a wheelchair. I don't know. And I was scrolling around it. I'd had it in the dream, I'd had a car accident. And so I was injured from the car accident in the dream, and that's why I was in the wheelchair. So and then um I had another dream, right, where I'm in a hospital type setting or whatever it is, and I was doing a line for something and I was in the wheelchair. And then I get to the end of the line, get up, get off the wheelchair, turn in the wheelchair, right? Um, so I'm like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? Is there gonna be a car accident? Um, because usually when I dream of cars, something goes on with a car, something happens. And so in my dream, I have to go, I just thought of something. I gotta go back and check. 'Cause I write down and record my dreams in a journal when I have to check on something. But sorry, sidetrack again. But so I was worried that someone was gonna end up in a wheelchair, but at the same time, I was like, the second dream made me calm down a bit because I was like, okay, I turned in the wheelchair, so apparently it's temporary. It's a temporary thing, it's a temporary situation. It's not gonna be something as serious as it can get, kind of, like where I'd permanently in a wheelchair or someone would end up permanently in a wheelchair. It's something gonna be temporary. So uh last week, yeah, last week, this last week, I ended up having to get a study done and they had to put me on some slight anesthesia. And I guess I woke up during the procedure or something, and they had to dose me a little bit more, knock me out a little bit more. So when I was done with everything, and thankfully everything seems fine, um, when I was done and my husband was, trying to help me to get out and go, the nurse comes over and she says, if you need a wheelchair, it's right here next to you on the bed, like next to the bed. I'm like, oh no. I was so half out of it. Oh no, I'm not gonna need a wheelchair. I'm not gonna need it. And my husband's like, babe, we gotta walk all the way across the hospital and towards the parking lot, through the parking lot just to get to, just to get in the car. And I was like, no, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I tried to stand up, I couldn't stand up. It, I ended up in the wheelchair, crossed the whole hospital. From we were on one side, we had to go away all the way to the other side of the hospital and all the way up, I don't know, like 2 or 3 floors on the elevator through the parking lot to get to the car, where my husband then left me in the car and took the wheelchair back. So I'm hoping that that's what the wheelchair dreams was indicating to me. And I'm hoping it's not something more serious. I'm still asking why the guides would show that to me in a dream. I don't know. I have so many questions when it comes to this whole spiritual world. I don't know, because I like I said, I don't meditate, so I don't have the best communication with my guides. I believe in them wholeheartedly. I believe in God wholeheartedly. Um, my faith is strong. The communication on my end is not the best. I'm not always tuned in. I'm guessing I can better my frequency, tuning into my frequency. I have been hearing, well, that's clairvoyance, right? I guess we'll take it through the clairs. And I'm still not done with clairvoyance because I've had visions, like actual visions where, who was it? I can't remember right now. And if I do, I'll add it in. But it was something that I read or a video that I saw where this lady was explaining what spirit shows you. And she was like, I think it's Marianne DeMarco. I could be wrong. But she explains to you how they show you like these visions in random visions of things in your head that you'll start thinking about, and it's actually spirit communicating with you. So I was like, okay, yeah, I got it. But I didn't get it until I had a full on vision. I guess the best way that I can do it is explain to you what happened. So we were done recording, and I went to, I put everything away and got ready for bed. And as I was getting into bed, because it it bothers me to like just to feel anything on the bed. So I'm always like using my pillow and I swipe my bed. It's I've done it since I was little, I don't know why. But so I do that and I get in as I'm getting into the bed, I can see clear say at like if it was a memory of something that happened during the day. And like picture it like if it's happening in like if you're remembering something that happened earlier in your day, but like if you were right there in that present moment. So I'm seeing this older couple, and I'm trying to remember if I've already mentioned this in one of the other videos, but so I'm seeing this older couple, and they both have like army hats on, the older ones, an army cap, and I think they had on, I don't know if they had on like fatigue tops, but they were in front of a cemetery and they were walking by the stream. And I was walking with them. And the guy was complaining about something, and the lady, she had a backpack on. And she was taller and she had white hair. And they were old, they were an older couple. And there was a third person with us, but I cannot remember who he was. But I know it was a male. So, and they're walking in front of a cemetery that I don't frequently pass through. I drive near it, but I drive pretty close to it, but it's not like I don't pass in front of it at all. Like I turn, I turn off the road way before the area where it's at, but I get pretty close, like maybe a mile, give or take, maybe a mile away from passing the cemetery. I make a right turn to continue on towards work, to and from work every day. I do pass another cemetery on my way to and from work every single day, but that's not the one that I saw. Same town. This town has two. The old one is the one that I saw in my mind. And it was quick. It was like I was just like I saw them in my mind clear as day, and it was like I was there, but I wasn't there. And it was like it was my memory, but it's not my memory. I don't know who these people are. And I'm like, why am I thinking about them? Like it was really, really random. And that was the first time that I realized that I'd had a vision of spirit with spirit. And I'm like, who are these people? Why am I seeing them in my mind? Still don't know to this day who they are. I have not gone to that cemetery. I mentioned it to one of my cousins. She was like, "Oh, you need to go to the cemetery." But there has to be a reason why. I don't know who they are. Um, but if I had to find a reason, my reason would probably be that it was my first lesson from my guides on being able to notice and tell what is a vision. Because I had visions, I've seen things. I've seen shadows, spirits. If you've watched some of the other episodes, you'll hear us talking about shadow people. I've seen a shadow person. I've seen what I believe is one of my guides in like a card. Um, but a vision like that, a whole memory, a whole scene playing out in my mind, no. In meditations, yes. But just like out of the blue, just completely random and out of the blue popping into my head while I'm doing something, no. Mm-mm. I was wide awake. I couldn't explain it. And after that one, I had another one where my, I was reading, I was reading a book, um, a romance novel, a romance fantasy novel, I think. And I saw, like my grandmother popped into my mind really, um, out of the blue. And like I could see her perfectly. I could see her perfectly. And I'm like, why am I thinking of my grandmother right now when I'm reading a romance novel? I'm at I don't know, there was nothing in what I was reading that had anything to do with grandmothers or a past loved one. There was nothing relatable to my grandma and why I was seeing her. So I'm like, why am I seeing my grandmother? And then I quickly, like, once I questioned myself, why am I seeing her? I see myself hugging her, like just walking up to her and giving her a hug. And I'm like, nope, definitely not thinking of my grandma. I said to myself, this is another vision. As soon as I came to that realization, because I have clairsentience, so I had this staticky feeling all over my arm, just like because I was laying like this, so all over this side of my arm, I could feel it. Um, and I was like, my grandmother visited me, and right now I'm feeling the tingly sensation on the top of my head. Um, so I don't know who it is, but someone's visiting me right now. Um, so as soon as I felt her and like was 100% trusting that she was visiting me, poof, it was gone. The feeling, everything gone, like in seconds. Everything happened like really, really fast. Um, and I was like, wow. grandma, she came to visit me, and I don't know why, because I wasn't, like I wasn't thinking about her. I hadn't been thinking about her. It was just really, really random to me. Um, that week, let's say I had that dream, not dream, that vision happened to me on a Sunday. I'd say that Thursday of that week, like it was a couple days later, my one of my cousins on our family chat posts a video of our grandmother. And she's not she's not one of she's not one of the cousins that she's not one of okay. She's not one of the cousins that I conversate about my gifts with. She's someone I'm close with, but she's not someone that I normally talk with about this stuff. Um, but one of her sisters is. So I hit up her sister and I'm like, hey, so so and so just put this picture up on the family chat of our grandmom, and don't you know, I had this experience with her, this vision of her. And she came and she visited me, and she says to me, really? She was like, when? And I was like, last week on so and so day. And she was like, it was her birthday. And I was like I don't know. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't know it was my grandma's birthday. I didn't know what my grandmother's birthday was. She's passed away. She's been gone for a long time now. Um, and I no clue that it had been my grandma's birthday. So it warmed my heart to know that she visited me and that I was able to connect with her, like give her a spiritual hug. I don't know, just it touched me. Ugh, filled my heart with joy, a lot of joy. Um, and then after that, recently, as this past week, I heard a child cry. And again, I was reading, so I don't know if I was passing from transitioning from beta state, which is where you're normal awake doing your everyday functions, over into alpha, which is when you're still conscious and you're still doing your everyday functions, but you fall into kind of like a light meditative state almost. And that's a state where you can communicate with spirit, which is what I believed happened in my grandmother's case. I can't explain it in the first example that I gave you of the two older people. But at least with my grandmother, I believe that she was able to come through because I was in that alpha state. And I guess I can go into alpha when I'm reading. It's something that I've read. So I'm guessing I went into that alpha state while I was again reading, and I heard a child cry, like a cry that got louder and louder, like an echo in my mind. And I could see her. She's this little girl with blonde, curly hair, really curly, spirally hair. She had it like up in a ponytail. She had blue eyes. Um, she's a very light-skinned, um, blanquita, very white, light skin. Um, and it's weird because I could see her perfectly in a hallway. And it's almost as if I'm in the hallway standing with her, and she's standing, and I can see her profile like kind of like this. Like there's a door here. Um, like there's a door here, and she's like this. Like standing behind the door kind of and looking out, and I can see her perfectly. But at the same time, I can see myself standing next to what I believe is her mother or someone that knows her, calling to her with their arms wide open like this, and I'm standing like shoulder to shoulder with the person. So I never turned to look at the person. I never took my eyes off of the child. But I could hear this little girl crying, and I've never seen that baby before. She was a toddler, maybe between the ages of 2 and 4. So, um, I don't know who this little girl is. I never turned to look at the person standing next to me that was holding their hands out to her. I was looking directly at her. And as I'm seeing this whole vision where I was here and here at the same time, um, could hear this baby's cries getting louder and louder and louder, like a loud echo, like if I was in a hall or something. And then poof, like I guess I either pushed myself out of this alpha state or it went away. Um, but yeah, so my communication with spirit has been expanding. In vision wise, I call them visions. I don't know. I can't think of right now what else to call them or what they're called, but I call them visions. Um, in clairaudience, I have like with that vision in particular, I am hearing things. Um, I keep hearing songs. Um, oh, and with in clairvoyance, I'm still seeing like I'm seeing a lot of stuff like out my periphery. I can with the visions and actual seeing like stuff. So, um, with clairaudience, like I said, I've been hearing like my visions now have audio, but um I can hear spirit. Like I've been hearing the whispering and it's more and more, I guess it's become more and more ever since I made the decision to actually accept, like I felt like I was rejecting something from God. Once I got the signs that I asked God for in regards to my gifts, especially, clairvoyance, um, which was the main one that I was dealing with because clairsentience and visions and stuff that this has all come along afterwards. I had more clairvoyance in the sense of dreams and clairaudience in the sense of hearing songs, uh, and clairalience in the sense of smelling, because those have always been with me, and some claircognizance. Those have always been with me, but the others developed once we started our podcast. Um, so with clairaudience and clairvoyance has been like really developing, really, really developing. I get clairalience every once in a while. It's always been there. It's the one where sometimes I don't even realize that no one else can smell what I'm smelling. It's the one that I've always said that I'm very vocal about because it's so, it's so clear the smell that I like someone just spritz a perfume in front of you and you can smell it clear as day. Well, just like that, but with other scents. And I've been smelling berries and I've been smelling cookies for whatever reason. But cookies and berries are the two that I've been smelling recently. And um with clairaudience, that's the one that scares me a little bit because with clairaudience, I am now mixing in clairvoyance, right? If I'm seeing for whatever reason, those visions don't scare me. Those type of visions, not scary to me. What is scary to me is when I can sense and feel that there's something there next to me. Um, that's when it becomes scary for me, and that's what I'm working through. I thought that I was past that until the thing with the little girl, because right after I was like, oh my God, I just had this vision of this little girl. Grabbed my phone because, like I said, I communicate with my cousins all the time. Grab my phone, I text Lenny, and I'm like, hey, Lenny, this just happened to me. It was like 9 o'clock at night or something. Like, Lenny, this just happened to me. And she's like, oh my God. She was like, are you going to try and connect? I was like, no. Why? Because I could sense that there was someone there next to me. As soon as I picked up my phone and started texting her, I could feel someone there. Um, and I could almost hear them breathing, like it was shallow breathing. It wasn't deep breaths. It was shallow breathing, and it was someone there next to me. On my side of the bed. My husband was knocked out on his side of the bed, and I was like, nope, not gonna go there, not gonna connect, not right now. Why? Um, I don't know. I'm trying to graduate to that next step. I know I'm not supposed to fear it. I know I have control, or that I can have control, but I also know that I don't. Not yet. I don't. I'm not in 100% control of my emotions. And that too may probably come with more meditating. I'm taking more time into meditating and fully, because like I said, I trust that my guides are always there, but it's not second nature to me to automatically reach for them. In dreams, it's when I sense that I'm in a some kind of nightmare with something that's not good, with something evil, or something that I can sense is not from good, is not good. I'll automatically do my prayer song, and I'll reach out to God, and and like I know I have that faith that He's got my back. Um, but and I'll wake up out of these dreams when it's like right there next to me, and I didn't get the sense that it was something evil there. Mm-mm. I've been able to sense that, but I'm just not there yet. Like where it doesn't scare me. I'm working on it. Trust that I'm working on it. Like I'm talking to myself and convincing myself and asking spirit to help me with it. Um, and I maybe I just need more exposure and like don't go crazy with me. But it reactivated because I had gone through like a pause state before we went on our break. Like had gone through a lull where nothing was happening. Um, and then that's when my dreams kickstarted again and they had changed and everything. But now they're like steadily progressing. So I know I need to start meditating so that I'm in better in tune with my guides so that I can understand what it is that I'm dreaming, so that I'm not always like guessing what it could be. Or I mean, I don't know if it's how it's gonna be, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to better manage my gifts. Um with Claire audience, I've been hearing a lot the radio, like the frequency radio tuning in. I've been hearing it more and more. I don't know why. I've heard it before, but just not as frequently. So I don't know if it's their way, my guide's way of letting me know that they're trying to tune in, or if it's someone else trying to tune into me. I don't know. And I wish I had the answers because trust me, I wish I had the answers. But I don't know yet. With clear tasting, I've had a few experiences, but I haven't had more than the ones that I've already shared, which was mints and soap. And that one's really new. Like that one started once we started the podcast. Um, with clairsentience, let me rewind back a little bit. With the clear tendency and touch, I've been more aware. I'm getting more aware. I'm late to it. Like I have a delay, but I'm more aware of the tingles. Let's call it the tingles, that staticky feeling that I'll get on my skin. Because for me, when I started having clairsentience, like feeling and touch from spirit, and I have a little confusion with clairsentience. Um, but like I would get that coldness, that cold sensation on my arm. It's like a coldness. It's not a coldness as much anymore, or I've added on to it. Let's make it that way. That'll get the coldness. But I also have different feelings and sensations. Um, like the tingly that I felt earlier in my head when I was talking about my grandma. Um, it's a tingliness, a staticky feeling. My cousins have mentioned before that they feel it. I believe Lenny feels it on here on her area of the neck. Ani gets it like gradually going up like the back from the bottom of her back up her spine towards her neck area. They both also have recently experienced a cold feeling also, which I'm really glad because they're able to understand. I'm able to understand what they were feeling, and they are also able to understand what I'm feeling. Um, but just so with claircognizance, which is knowing, like when you know stuff, and intuition, I've been doing some, well, on TikTok. I've run across a lot of videos where they talk about, testing your intuition. I don't know if this would be testing my intuition or if it's a little bit of clairsentience mixed in with it, or clairvoyance. But they have you guess like what's behind the card type deal, and I've been accurately guessing what these things are. Um, and I guess it's a good practice. I guess kind of like I've read that it's kind of like muscle memory, where if the more you practice it, the more you'll get the hand of it, and the better you'll be at in being able to detect. Because with clairsentience, sometimes I don't know if it's that I'm so involved in the vision that I'm seeing, or whatever it is that I'm doing that permitted me to fall into the alpha state. uh I'm not always aware that I'm also feeling something while I'm seeing it. So I think I'm at that stage where I'm trying to process how to manage various gifts at the same time. Because like before, when I had like if I would have a clear audience episode, it was just hearing something, but I wasn't feeling something other than a headache. Or but in this case, if the I've had like the whole thing at the same time. The feeling, the hearing, the seeing, and like all simultaneously. And it's a little, I don't know if it's that it's overwhelming, or if it's that the more that I'll do it, I'll fall into it'll be easier, it'll come more naturally. I don't know. Um, I'll keep you posted on that. But with with the intuition exercises have been cool. So if you run across if you fall into that side of TikTok, you will probably end up seeing some of those videos. I I would have to check and see because I don't know if they're the same person that's posting these things or if it's different people, but they have like these intuition exercises. Another one that they did um was where they posted a picture of a family member, and then whose ever a person it was that they posted a picture of will go in the comments, and you're supposed to go in the comments and write down all your hits, like whatever it is that you get from the picture, and then you go into the comment section and write it down. I was hesitant to do it because it gets me, a little nervous to put myself out there like that, regardless of the fact that I'm doing this. But so I did, and then I started scrolling through the comments just to see if I had any hits, and there was one other person that had hits similar to mine. So I'm waiting. I did two like that. I'm waiting to see if the poster, whoever put the post up, will actually comment back and let me know if I have any hits on what I posted. There was one of a child. I didn't. It didn't. One of them got my eyes. The one with the child, I didn't want to. Didn't want to do it. I didn't want to touch it. I don't know why, but I didn't want to. It. There was one of an older lady, and my eyes got watery, like watery on like I have a lot of allergies, so I always have one or two watery eyes, but it's usually one is leaking, besides my nose, 'cause my nose is always leaking. But I instantly had watery eyes here on in the inner corners and the outer corners of my eye. And I'm like, why? Like I guess I got emotional. And then with the other one, it was just like images of like I think I got a hit of image of a black dog, and then it was a red car. Like I saw a red car in my head. I couldn't tell you the maker or the model of it. And then like something to do with like gardening or plants. And what was the last thing? And wood, for whatever reason I saw some wood. Did I get it accurate? I don't know. And when I say it, like I saw flashes of these things, like they weren't full on visions like the ones that I described earlier. They were like just like flashes of these things in my mind, like real quick. With the cards one, it's like the first thing that pops into my head. And then I'll start second guessing myself and I'll start thinking of other stuff. And when they reveal it, it's actually the first thing that popped into my head. But this last one, the lady was with a lady and she was talking you through the process, like, do you sense anything? Do you feel anything? That's when I realized that I had been it was guess what body part is behind card. So automatically thought of like a leg came to mind first, then a foot came to mind. Then I was like, a ear, like I just started getting random body parts. I don't know why. But as she's talking, she's like, try and see if you feel anything. And I got this weird pressure, like on the back of my head, the bottom back of my head, like the bottom bones part of your skull, I guess. And then, but at the same time, I felt a weird sensation. It wasn't even a tingling sensation. I felt a weird, like pressure on the bottom of my calf and towards my ankle, like towards the heel of my foot. And I was like, it's the leg. I was like, it's either the leg or the foot. When she flipped it over, it was the whole leg with the foot. If she hadn't mentioned, if you feel anything, do you sense anything? I don't know if I would have associated the feeling with. the exercise that I was doing with what I was trying to pick up. So it's it's also being aware of you, being aware of your body, being aware of all your senses when you're doing this, when you're communicating with spirit, when spirit is communicating with you or utilizing you to do something. That's another thing that I'm currently working on is being aware of myself because I'm usually aware of my surroundings. Like I'll sense when I walk into the room, I'll be able to sense what the vibe is like and people's emotions and all that stuff. I don't know if it's because I've been doing it all my life that it's been easier for me, but me sensing, because my first experiences with clairsentience was actual physical touch, which I've talked about in previous episodes where I've been grabbed or I've been poked in the back or I could feel my hair being parted. Those were like very obvious, like in your face type deals. Um, but these sensations, these and the coldness was like really cold, it was really obvious. But these newer sensations are more slight, more I just need to work on being more aware of of what it is that I'm seeing, of what it is that I'm sensing, that I am actually getting a vision, that I am um actually hearing someone talking or because like yeah I've always had someone call me by my name but to actually hear voices talking to you, well, it hasn't been as in your face as um my first experiences with clear audience with actually hearing voices. And in my mind, they're external and internal, like two different types. But these newer sensations, the breathing, like I could hear the breathing outside and like next to me, and they're more subtle. They're more like if I'm not paying attention, I might miss it. So I don't know if it's that I got to work on tuning in to the right, like it's I don't know if it's that I'm almost there and I got a preview of what it can be, but I'm not there yet. I don't know, like I don't know. Or maybe I'm activating, or maybe leveling up a little bit. I think it could be a combination of all of it. But yeah, it's been an emotional roller coaster. It can be tiring at times. Sometimes I need to like disconnect from it, but I don't try to push it away anymore, with the exception of like when I feel scared. Um, if I feel scared, then I just try not to tap into whatever it is that is scaring me a little bit, and then I'll just shield. I'll use my shields. And I'm not saying that it's all bad experiences or evil or anything like that, a dark, let's not say dark, let's say negative. Um, but it's a lot. It's a lot to process. It's a lot to, and then most of the time you're around people that you can't tell them, did you see that? Or did you hear this? And sometimes I do just I'll be like, did you hear someone talking just now? Or did you hear that noise? Or because I'll hear tapping, I'll hear ringing, like it's been really active. There is one place that I don't know if it has to do with, but I live here in Puerto Rico. And recently me and my husband we went on a drive through the mountains. And we went to this place called Montaña Santa. It's I guess holy mountain would be the translation in English. Um and there's a story, a legend or myth or whatever it is, but there's a church, there's not a church, there's a capilla, like a little, like a small church, I guess. I don't know what it would be translated to in English, but like a smaller venue church, and it's Catholic. So the Catholic Church runs this place, and it's beautiful. It's like way high up in the mountain, and it's got the most extraordinary views. This place, it's one of those places that you walk into and you can um, you can feel the divine almost. I think that's the best way to describe it. You could just feel that peace there, that sense of feeling safe, and like you just walked into somewhere that kind of like moves you, and it's so peaceful and harmonious, and you can almost feel like a balance. It's really, I love it. I loved it. And I want to go back. Well, in that place it said that this woman appeared um with no, they don't know anything about her, where she's from, where, she had no family ties to that area. She just randomly appeared out of nowhere. And it was said, it's like they have the story there and everything. They believe that it was the appearance of a Virgin Mary. Um, I'm not sure if it was one in particular because like there's different names that they have for them for the virgins, but in the Catholic Church. But so it's they lead you to believe that it's her that appeared there. She was a healer, like she would heal people while she was there. And people from the town, from the neighboring town, would go up to where she resided, which was up on that mountain. Um, they would go to her to be healed. Um, which is I don't know if it has a name, like a specific name in English, but in Spanish is uh they heal through prayer, is basically they use prayer. There's some kind of healers, I believe, right, that they have the gift of healing, but they use prayer to, I guess, to do the healing sessions, kind of. So, and it has a name, and I can't even think of it in English or in Spanish, but anyway, um, so kind of like a curandera, but it has a here they call it something else, santiguadora. There you go, in Spanish. So it's some kind of healer, but through prayer. And so supposedly her house is there in that area. And there's this, you're able to go up there, you're able to visit the church, you'll be able, they have mass and everything, and they've got holy water, they've got everything. And there's an area, it's really beautiful. If you ever visit the island, it's one, and you're spiritual, it's one of the places I would fully recommend that you visit. Well, you go down, there's an area where you walk down and down and down and down and down and down. There's like a trail path, paved path. It's really pretty, and they maintain it. And once you get down there, they have set up a statue of the Virgin Mary, and there's a natural um like a natural spring. They call it like a vein of water. I don't know if it has a different name in Spanish, in English, but es una vena de agua. It comes out through there, and they say this water is blessed and has healing properties in it. And a lot of it, I believe, goes with faith, as does with everything in this world, in this spiritual thing. Um in our spirituality, in our spiritual dimension, whatever it is that you want to call it. But so do I believe that that water has healing properties? Yes. The thing is, I went there and I felt the peace in that area, and there was not a lot of people there were, but they have like these benches which are where you're able to sit and actually meditate. But me and my husband, we were going to a different destination. We just happened, I wanted to stop. He told me about it and I wanted to stop and go in. So it was like we hopped in there. We were able to walk the hike, but this is a hike to get down there and come back up. But I was able to stick my hands in the water and like just like hold the water in my hands, and I said prayers because I believe in God and all that, and whether God is source, universe, I don't know what he is. I honestly don't know what God is. I just know I believe in him. Um, I'm at that point, right, in my spiritual. I don't know if that'll change in the future or not, but right now that's, my beliefs. And I felt while I was there, while I was gathering the water, I felt like I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. Like I was meant to go there. I was meant to touch that water, and I placed it on me, and I placed it on on my forehead and the back of my neck. I can tell you that after that, more stuff has been happening. Like all this, the visions. The first vision had already happened, but the other visions, the more stuff that I've been seeing out the corner of my eye, and also, so I don't know if it's that my faith in everything just like expanded more. The more you believe in yourself, and I know it all has to do. Like I know it's all important, the faith that you put in everything, the faith that you put in your manifestations and in God and in source, and it's all important. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in everything it is that you're doing. And I do, but I can't help but wonder if I kind of like opened the door a little bit more. Because with my fear, because remember I'm battling my fear, I don't know if I'm holding back a little bit or if my fear is holding me back. Like I don't just know that um I feel as though something did change a little bit, and I associate that with my knowing. It's like something that I know. I don't know how I know it, but I know it. So yeah. And it's one of those things where, especially with all of these gifts, you have to have faith in yourself. You have to trust yourself, and it's something that I'm personally also working on. I'm trying to have faith in myself, in my gifts. That yes, even though I've accepted it, I still tend to question, oh, like, could it be this? Could it be that? And I sometimes feel like I might be insulting my guides. Like, are we still at this point? But so yeah, so it's a work in progress, like I've been saying from the beginning, like we've been saying from the beginning, and it takes dedication, it takes time. You got to take yourself seriously. Never think you're crazy. I mean, it's a process, and you got to trust the process. Got to trust yourself and trust what it is that you're receiving. I don't fully understand all the reasons why, all the messages that I get. Um, but I know that I do, and little by little, day by day, I'm getting a little bit better at it. So, anyway, thank you. I think that is all I have to share for now. So thank you for joining me. For those of you that have stuck by and watched till the end, hopefully you'll join us again for another episode of Discovering Our Gifts. Please check out if you could follow, like, subscribe, and share our videos. Comment. I would love to hear everyone's comments on everything that they've been going through. If you have or had similar experiences like mine, or if you have any questions for me or for any one of my cousins, you can email us, or here in the comment section, you can go ahead and drop a comment. Also, we have launched, I believe it's 2 or 3 episodes on Spotify, I'm sorry, 2 or 3 podcast episodes on Spotify, so you can check those out. I'm releasing those in the order that they've been released here on YouTube. So far I've only released English ones. The Spanish ones I have not gotten around to releasing yet. And also we have a small TikTok channel where we've released some shorts and a lot of inspirational short sentences with some beautiful sunrises and sunset pictures. And that our handle is at Discovering Our Gifts. That's how you'll be able to find us on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, so we're out there, and hopefully you'll find some of the information that we've been relaying helpful or useful in some way, and share with us what it is that you're going through, because it might help us too. So thank you.